This is the current entry-level electric drill model, DDF487. What we are doing today is also one thing. First, let's talk about this DDF487 before disassembling some external problems. First of all, the chuck is a criticism of it. Friends who have gotten the DDF487 electric drill know the model equipped with the chuck is 13 millimeters, and the brand is the ROM chuck. This, according to logic, is very good. But this chuck often has a jamming wheel phenomena. What is the stuck wheel? We listen. When tightening is very large and the same as the slipping wire inside, we need to go back and forth a lot before it can be tightened and then loosen it out. Now it's good to see, but we screw it back again and it appears again. We need to go back and forth several times. It's good again. Then when we go on it again, this is very smooth. This is also a disadvantage of this chuck. But there are many people who like this kind of chuck second. This machine can come out in the back when it is fast. And some metal collision sounds can be heard in the back. Not really acquaintance. There is a seal behind the acquaintance. Do you hear it? It is not a clucking collision sound. It is metal, and the sound is similar to the sound of a seal with very fast speed. Let's take it apart now. After all the screws are removed, let's continue to look down first. Open the shell. Let's see. This current shell is still a little different. The back one is a split, but there are no 4 screws to go on, this kind of structure, but you need to open the shell to get rid of it. First of all, the thickness of the shell. Let's look at the lagging is relatively thin, but the thickness of the shell is still quite good. We can see the layering of this lagging and the thickness of the shell. Where the shell is generally easy to break it, everyone knows that when you fall from a high altitude, you will have to deal with the handle and the battery here, because the load under the hand battery is relatively large. And if you fall violently, it will be easy to break off from here, or from here. This inside, like this place, is a very test of the thickness of the shell. We will take it out and look up. What about the motor? I won't talk about it. At the moment, it is a full series of green boards with painting sensors. Let's take it down first. It can only be fragrant. It is this place in front of it. It is a plastic. It is not metal as everyone thinks. This place is plastic. It can only be like a plastic fingerprint like this. Very short. Let's take a look at it again. The control board uses a vegan control board. This is compared with the metal control board used in many of our domestic machines. This kind of vegan control board, its heat dissipation is indeed not as good as that. Everyone look at the switch. Now, it's not in sight that the brand. Let's take a look. Is this an Omron? Is not an Omron. I will check it now. I just checked it on Baidu. It is a Satori switch, purely imported from Japan. What about this switch compared to Omron? I don't know if it's stronger. After all, I haven't heard of it. Let's take down this split back cover. This is one of its main controls, and it is also the one we said in the last video. 60% of the cost of an electric drill is on this main control. The motor is also very small because this drill is only 40 nanometers. Let's not look at what brand it is. All the sources of its torque are kinetic energy, and it comes from this set of things. No matter how big the gearbox in front of you is, it still needs it to output a kinetic energy. If the motor is small, it is impossible to produce such a large force. Let's look at the sensor. The special correction is very small. Let's take a look at the brand of the bearing. There is no label on it. There is no model number, and all kinds of letters are not marked. But however, we still go back to the beginning, although now there are a lot of machines that are out of stock, and there are very many out of stock. One less thing, it is easier and more durable. But in fact, this thing has not been broken since it was put up. However, in terms of some of the feel of the hand drill, it will perform even better, which is greater than this DDF487. It is also very simple, right? It is also a split, unlike Dulwich or high school, many of which are integrated with an integrated switch and an empty board later. If it breaks down, it is also very troublesome to have to change the main control. But if it is made like this at present, we see that the top is with a plug. And here is with a plug because the switch should be able to be purchased separately to replace it, which is not bad. Let's just do it. This DDF487 is dismantled.